into his presence would I enter now? No, this is not walking into someone's presence physically, like another body, like you walk into my presence. No, it has nothing to do with that, right? Hopefully you recognize that this is about an alternate dimensional reality. We're talking about coming to the Christ consciousness. Quite literally, loosing ourselves from definition, from shape, essentially what we even discussed about stepping out of the way so that the presence of Christ can remain and be here. So many people have ideas and images that might come up about what this might look like. That if someone says they are and they're acting in a specific way, they're obviously not. Like we have ideas of what is good and what is bad. Only really because we are not in the presence ourselves. It takes an ego in order to comprehend and perceive and understand egos. If you see egos, you're in ego. So let's take some responsibility that if you are in Christ, you would only see that of Christ. And that's the presence, recognizing it everywhere and everyone, regardless of how egotistical they might be. You actually can see past it, see through it, and you don't even understand it in that same fashion anymore. It's not like, oh, they know not what they do. They are just silly little people being total douchebags. No. In fact, you are part of the game in which Christ is playing. That you will experience it and play with everyone in this game that we call life. The experience of what we are doing in this dimensional reality. So as we are surrendering, say, this game, and we are understanding and grasping and actually experiencing the presence of Christ. Now, the presence of Christ is not somebody else. It is everyone. I mean, yes, it is somebody else. It's everybody. It's because, yes. But it is, the presence of Christ is within you. Within you. So you're not looking for some specific entity that might be titled Christ, but in fact everyone is Christ, and that you recognize that this is an alternate dimensional reality. The Christ consciousness foresees, is that the right word? Everything. It overlaps all that is. Remember the dreamer experience? The dreamer is Christ. The dreamer is Christ. Everything in the dream is Christ's mind, Christ's thoughts. The thoughts do not leave their source. Everything is in the source of Christ. And Christ is in the source of the mind of God. Whew. So, as you're doing this and actually taking this to heart, experiencing into the presence and doing what all of this beautiful, wonderful curriculum that is, and actually putting it to heart. Honest, authentic, repetition, practice, attempts, trying to do it. That's why meditation is so important, because you're actually trying to surrender the world. You're trying to step back, and you're trying to empty your mind. You're trying to get out until you do. It's all trying until you succeed. And then you know exactly what it is. You know exactly. You get hints, yes. I know how to take a few steps, know how to take those steps, knows how to take maybe many steps. I can just meditate and I can get there, right? But when you actually achieve and recognize the totality of the presence of Christ, you know how to do it instantaneously. In fact, I'm doing it right now, and I'm not doing it. I can do both at the same time. You understand what I mean, because when you actually experience it, you recognize and palpably can tell the difference between dimensional realities. They are all here. You feel them all right now. You feel them all right now. And yet you're just focused on specific ones. Emotions, bodies, ego mentality. Mind, body, spirit is essentially what you're focused on. And so you're experiencing it in this fashion. You're training your mind to recognize the authority that is Christ, that can make the choice between dimensions. So if you want to experience heaven, you have to have the authority to choose heaven. So the Course in Miracles is about recognizing that authority. Into the presence of that authority I am right now, going into it, let's do it. That's what you're doing. So this is a day in history that when you actually achieve it, it's done for the rest of your life. Many people reference to my death experience, and they think about, of course, they hear about it. They're like, oh, that's just a point in time, so it's not real. And like, I'm dead right now. I'm still dead right now. So it's a misunderstanding to think that was an experience for me. I've never been the same since. So in that understanding, it wasn't a moment in time. Yes, physicality, I will tell you, yes, it happened 2 minutes, 3 minutes, I was having a seizure and it stopped, yes, in physicality. But the awareness of realities beyond and outside is continuous. It's always. So it's that barrier that's broken that I stepped out of the way and can recognize it. And yeah, sure, I can focus in, oh, bodies, only bodies. Here's Devin and only bodies. And I can look in other directions. But to recognize that I'm doing it is a whole nother ballgame. Then you believe that you're succumbed to it. When you're making these decisions, you're making these choices in your reality right now. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a little disorienting. It's like, whoa, dude, man. This is like mind-boggling stuff. It's really not. I mean, it does sound somewhat complicated as I'm describing it in this fashion, but really just recognize that as it's speaking about into the presence of Christ, it's talking about alternate dimensional reality. I mean, obviously, hey, guys, well, I don't see any Christ around here. There's no Christ, and there's just Devin. There's just microphones, there's a screen camera. You're not even here. That's another dimension. So it's talking about, quite literally, another dimension. A lot of people have this difficulty, usually older folks, understanding what a dimension is. We think usually alternate universes, and we don't recognize that that's what this is talking about. It's always been talking about something that can be here right now all the time, and yet not here all the time. Right? So that is what that's about. So it's not here. This is the third dimensional focused reality, physicality, in this construct. Christ is another one, a totally different one, which is here and now. Heaven, a different one. Here and now. God, here and now. Terrestrial, telestial, celestial kingdoms, here and now. Resurrection, here and now. It's all here and now. Last judgment, it's right happening right now. This is the last judgment. Is it seen as good? You're literally reviewing your life and judging it all right now. So it's like, whoa, you know. Oof. War in heaven happening right now. War in heaven? Yeah, you really. What's this guy saying? Oh, I believe it. Oh no, I'm awesome. I'm holy. Good, bad, angry, sad. Talk about a war in heaven. It's all happening right now. Those are alternate dimensional realities. And yet, I'm just a body. I'm just here. This is me. Right? No. You can see it all. You can feel it all. You just can't seem to... You just have it all compact into... This is me. Nope. you don't really exist. So definitions over all your history, all your time, like eons of existence, has brought you to this point where you see yourself in this fashion. You've made several decisions over long periods of times, over and over and over again, and you're making these decisions right now. So yes, of course, you don't recognize who you actually are. That's okay. Just recognize, to get out of it, all you have to do is recognize you're making a decision for it. I want this to be happening. What do I really want? Do I not want this to be happening anymore? Do I want to recognize who I am? Recognize the decision you're making to not know who you are, so you can recognize to make a decision to know who you are. See the difference?